Coming up, the Red River boys have picked up right where they left off last season, but do the Rough Riders have what it takes to complete the repeat? We'll hear from their head coach. And one of the premier midseason events in South Dakota tipped off last week at the Court House. We'll recap the girls, preview the boys' Hanson Classic, all that, plus our weekly pick'em segment on this edition of Varsity Sports Now. How's everybody doing? I'm Jay Elson alongside Jason and Dara. And Jason, we are focusing first this week on North Dakota. Lots going on up there right now. And one team that started the year off the radar, despite the fact that they were the defending state champion, a little bit was Grand Forks Red River, but they have played like champions to this point in the season. Yeah, defending champs. They lost their star player, Mac Arvidson. A lot of people thought they would take a big drop off, but a lot of other players back, and they've stepped up. And what have they done? Been the only undefeated team in Class A so far. Yeah, in your Class A power rankings this week, at number one, we've got the defending champs, Grand Forks Red River. And the man who led that championship charge last season was Jason Gregory, and he joins us now. And Jason, currently number one, does that give you confidence, or does it add unnecessary pressure at this point in the season?
You know, we've thought about that question often. You know, last year I think we were ranked most of the season as number one. And with returning a lot of kids, we thought we'd get off to a good start this year. And I think our kids they kind of felt a little bit slighted coming into the state. And, you know, that was looking at that Hoopster magazine, and they thought we had enough guys back to maybe be ranked a little bit higher. And what we tell them to do is just, you know, prove it. Every time we step on the court, come out and, you know, show what you got, and we'll be where we want to be by the end.
Well, you guys have Matt Kreplin. I know you got a lot of talent on this team, but Matt Kreplin's a guy who stuffs the stat sheet. What does he mean to your team, not only as a player, but as a leader?
Well, you know, like the bigger thing, you know, we talk about leadership in the off season and, you know, starting something. This kind of started, you know, the year before when we wanted to be successful, we have to do it in the off season first. He was a prime example, getting in the weight room, ball handling, shooting all summer. Then he carried it over to another summer, and he also brought it with him, you know, the other kids with him. You know, as a leader does it, he's a good leader. So the other kids followed. They got in the weight room, got in the gym, and, you know, we didn't really lose a step from last year. At least we don't feel we did. You know, maybe a little bit with the scoring punch of Mac Arvidson, but we thought we had a lot of guys step up with his leadership because what he provides is he wants to be successful, and he wants his team to be successful.
All right, Jason, now as we said earlier, you are undefeated at this point in the season, but do you think the rest of the EDC is going to catch up and be competitive with you guys?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think the EDC is really full of good teams this year. A lot of stars or high-profile players in the league. You got Shanley, you know, who's got A.J. Jacobson and Patrick Strom, who I believe he just went 11 for 11 from the three-point line the other night. Then you mix in the Alderman for them, and they just got a lot of scoring punch to them. And then you also talk about Davies, and you got Tanner Kretschmann, you got Kozlowski, and you got David Olson. It's another team with three guys that can just light up the scoreboard. And you go on with teams like West Fargo, Fargo South, and then you go to Wapton. There's just so much talent in the league this year. It's going to be, we're really going to have to, you know, improve from where we are right now till the end of the season to keep competing at that level.
All right, Jason, last year's title run was a great experience for your team. How will that experience translate into your postseason run this year?
You know, you always hope that you build something on experience. Last year our goal was, you know, to make it a state and then set another goal after that to win state. And our same goal is this year. It's pretty simple. You want to do well, very well, and get a home play-in game the first round. And then you want to make sure you're playing your best basketball in the EDC tournament. And that's kind of what we got we shaped the minds that way, is we want to keep playing better every day. And, you know, if we have a few bumps in the road, we want to make sure it's before tournament time.
All right, thank you. Again, Jason Gregory, head coach of the Grand Forks Red River Rough Riders, and things are going to get a little bit different for them down the stretch here. They played 5 of the first 6 at home. They've got 2 more at home before they start this long road stretch that they've got Grand Forks Central tonight and then 1 more after that. We're really going to learn how good this team really is if they can get some of these wins on the road as well.
It's such a tight field this year that all these teams are so close. Home court advantage does mean a lot for Grand Forks Red River, and to play that many games out of the chute at home will help them. But this is a veteran squad. Matt Kreplin is great. John Hoplin, a guy we haven't talked about, has come along farther than most players. Most players don't have a big man that they can put on a guy like 6'6" Hoplin in the middle. So we're going to find out a lot, but I think Grand Forks River will stand up to the test.
All right, let's turn the page a bit. Look at who's hot in Class A right now, and the honor certainly this week goes to Patrick Strom, the junior out of Fargo Shanley. 40 points against Fargo Davies in a win last week.
Yeah, 40 points, and most of those came in the second half when he got torrid, red hot. I'm talking 11 three-pointers hot, 11 of 18 from behind the arc. And the first half, they were so worried about stopping A.J. Jacobson. He had a huge first half as they went on the way to scoring 99 points against Davies.
That's insane.
That is insane.
That's insane.
But Strom hitting 11 three-pointers. You know, it's the unofficial Class A record is 12 three-pointers, so one shy of that. But it was kind of quiet the way he did it because, you know, Jacobson put up a 31-point night himself.
Yeah, A.J. Jacobson, 31 points to go with Strom's 40. So you look at 71 of those 99 came off of those two guys. It really overshadows what was a pretty good performance by Tanner Creshman from Davies with 22 points.
I got to talk about Tanner Creshman for a minute. This guy has gone 20 points or more every single game this year, and he's a small guy. It's tough for him to get his own shot, but teams have to play double and sometimes triple team on him to prevent him from scoring, and they've got a lot of weapons on that team, so that frees up Kretschmann a little bit.
Let's take a quick look at some of your girls' power rankings for this week in Class A. Shanley's still number 1 at 5-0. Big matchup this week coming up against West Fargo. It's a rematch of the first game of the season between these two teams.
First time around, West Fargo was number 1. Shanley was number 2 this time. Switched around a little bit. Shanley's the number 1 team. They're going to have to go on the road and play against West Fargo, so in their gym. So it could be a little different this time. We'll talk about more of that in the pick.
Yeah, all right. Well, still more to come from North Dakota, specifically from the Bismarck area. We'll talk about that right after this.